Okay, day 63. With the shoot down of the Russian plane, I thought I'd do a supplement today, part 2. There's a pattern here over and over of hiring these gangs to do increasingly violent things. The shoot down of the Russian plane here, I've warned about several times in this series and in the comments especially, and it was just a matter of time. I've also warned that U.S. planes could be shot down with this technology by Sinaloa-type groups. La Raza is the political extension of Sinaloa in the U.S. So this could be used to take Trump down. And I've hypothesized a working theory that she has this capability. And she was the one who joked about Bobby Kennedy's death when she was running against Obama. So I'm not putting this past her, and I think they have to prepare for this coming into Mexico, this kind of stinger capability. I've said before, it's Morell. Morell worked for David Petraeus, and Morell's the one who's ordering the ambassador to get shot, and he's ordering these planes to get shot down, and he's doing the sarin gas. And you can just watch the videos of Morell and saying, I want to kill Russians, kill Russians, kill Russians, and you can see that pattern emerging. But everyone says, oh, how could everybody be in this? How could it be such a large conspiracy? And actually, my thesis is it's quite the opposite. It's how few people are involved. You really only need one, bagman, and you only need one tribe. You need a different tribe in Mexico. You need El Chapo and Sinaloa, and you need one other guy. I think it's the same guy for Fast and Furious. So you only need, or maybe there's two. There's a California gun dealer as well. But Braverman creates one funnel. All this money is going to be coming through that one funnel. So it's kind of an easy thing to track. So I didn't want to give the idea that everybody's in on this. It's quite the opposite. It shows that if you get people in the right positions of power, then everyone has to follow orders beneath them. You only need a very few people. The old, Hitler, used to say it was me and 7 guys around a kitchen table that took Germany. So in keeping with that, there's this Tembo, I think only has 7 people. This is for how to go in and take advantage of a post-conflict or post-disaster type situation. And it's the same construction company over and over again. Build the roads, build the pipelines, build the hotels. So it's going to be Cemex again. They want to do the wall. They want to do Trump's wall. That's Trump knows that it's Sinaloa, guys. So he's up on that. But here's Justra. It's one guy, and it's an investment network of 1,100 people. Well, that can be covered by 7 or 8 different investment advisors, one in L.A., one in Chicago, one in Tampa, one in, Mar-a-Lago. She only has one brother. That's all we need for the gold funnel here. World Bank, we only need to have the president. That's all that they put the president in. That's all you need. You need one person generating proposals. That's Braverman. So you only need one person running the people. There's 10 volunteers that are working with her or whatever, but she's the one who knows what the real program is. Everybody else is thinking, hey, I'm really helping people here. So I'm not saying there's not a lot of people that are being used. There are. But the actual people that are in the know in the inner circle are very few. For instance, the shoot down of the plane today, that's going to be an order that's given from one CIA guy over to a tribe leader. And probably al-Baghdadi and a couple of other people are involved, and then that's it. The tribe just is ordered to shoot down the Russian plane. They don't really know anything beyond that. They don't know who ordered it or anything like that. This is a very tight group here, Beacon. You're going to find a lot of answers, and these are all guys that are in the same company now. He's the male Huma, close body man. Again, with the FBI, you don't need, all the field offices are great people. Counterterrorism division is where the bad seed started, and he was the one who built the counterterrorism division. This is the FBI overseas. Now, there was a lot of great people in that as well. So you're seeing FBI people come forward and just say, no more of this. You're Podesta, you're representing the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and you're fighting against people that I lived and died with at 9/11, and you're trying to slow foot the payouts, to the 9/11 survivors and all sorts of bad things. There's very few actually that are the corrupted. So I didn't want to give the impression that I thought, oh, the FBI is all in on it. And not quite the opposite. There's a lot of great FBI people out there, both retired and active, that are helping solve this situation. Like Hallstrom is a good example, saying, hey, when did we start these practices and how we interview and so forth. So, and again, I've had this slide many, many times. This is a very tight circle. This is a quid pro quo to Patrick Kennedy to get more agents for McCabe and the Counterterrorism Division. He's the godfather of his children. He's Comey's let him off 7 times. This whole cycle I've showed is a 33-year cycle, and there's been 7 different quid pro quos over time. Small group. Here again, NATO generals. How many people can run how many different countries are there in NATO? I can't remember, 35 or something like that. But how many have an air force? Those are the only ones that you have to cut in on the F-35 deal. A couple of guys that are running the air campaign, a couple of the political people for NATO, and you got a couple of strong men like built down here, and you're good to go. Trump knows all this. His Assistant Secretary of Defense ran Bridgewater, so he knows all this whole game here with using the F-35 money to fund these startups, so they don't have to pay R&D. And he's aware of the whole funnel. So Trump's fine here. What Trump is doing is he's not going to attack Hillary directly like with a special prosecutor. He's just taking the NATO support base away from Hillary. He's taking the Haitian type support base by cutting USAID and cutting the World Bank, so she loses her diplomatic mechanisms for the people she has in the State Department. Here again, with China, he's not going to go after Hillary with an investigation on the F-35. What he's going to do is he's going to cut the deal that Kissinger made with the oil. So he's not going to play this game here. He's not going to let these nations get cut out of their oil. That's Hillary's real base, is this oil money. And once that goes, then she only has the arms left. And she can only make an arms play. So she still can do this. This could have happened today, as a matter of fact. She could still call Sid and say, go get me a general and let's, take out a Russian plane. Let's do that. Or let's do a sarin gas attack to make sure that the human hostages, the human shields, stay in Idlib or stay in Palmyra now. We can always do a gas attack to make sure they don't go anywhere. So this could happen again. Sid could hire another general, get another CIA plan, and topple somebody even as a private citizen, because she's got a lot of money. And we know the MO. This is quite a bit of money. This is not just the $30 billion from the frozen assets, but there's another $256 billion now that she has. So she's got quite a war chest, and everything that happened here is more likely now because she has many more billions of dollars than she had before. So, like I said, Morell did this gas attack in Aleppo, this gas attack in Ghouta. Obviously it's going to be done through channels and intermediaries. This is coming out, though. The reporters are going to get with this. There's going to be journalists like this that keep reporting it, saying, the people really are being kidnapped. The children really are being kidnapped from these temporary orphanages. The citizens of Aleppo really were human shields, not the opposite. When the family is killed from upstairs, they keep the people upstairs. So ISIS is in the bottom. The shell hits the thing and kills the parents. Those are the kids that go. So sometimes there obviously isn't citations to all this. A lot of this is now coming to light with these proofs. Now that Aleppo has fallen, you can have Russian teams now are going to be sending this evidence, and there's going to be witnesses and people being interrogated, captured NATO people that are trying to clean this stuff up. So there are footprints being left, and so this proof will come out. But my job here isn't to always say everything that's proof. It's to expose the pattern to let other journalists build superstructure underneath the story, because the story is true. It's a combination of looking at the patterns and looking at the evidence. So I'm always about 80% evidence and 20% working theory, and I have to be, because otherwise a journalist would go onto some other story. The Russian ambassador would get shot, and everyone else would say, oh, well, he's dead now, let's move on to the next story. They don't realize it's related to this story. They don't realize that the NATO guy is related to this story getting killed. They don't realize that the shoot down of the plane is related. So here again, small group, Soros, a couple of insiders, 7 or 8 insiders that donate to the Clinton Foundation. Then you got for the larger group, you got Podesta to manage that for the 1,000 there, and with Justra, these two guys working together. Really not that complicated. And then you bring it through. The only thing that's complicated are all these shell organizations and so forth that Soros likes to do. Very, very good at that. So, again, the risk here when you start playing this game, this all goes back to Arkansas, by the way. Bill was the good guy, good cop, and Hillary was always the bad cop. Hillary was always in charge of the Arkansas, mob or gang that they had, and they were always killing people. The only thing that's changed is Hillary's gone on a larger scale. She's gone on a worldwide scale with the Muslim Brotherhood in 32 countries now with al-Baghdadi. So the only thing that's changed is the risk to the world, because as I predicted earlier, these are going to start shooting down Russian jets, and then they're going to start shooting down European jets, then they're going to start shooting down American jets. So that's and they can shoot down the president's jet. If you shoot 50 of these at Trump's plane, those 4 engines are going down. So that's why these emails have to come out. You got to stop the sex trafficking. You got to stop the arms trafficking. You got to stop these surreptitious oil deals, the drilling along the eastern seaboard and the Arctic drilling on the U.S. side. Nobody's fooled by that. The secret drilling that they're trying to do there and keep Trump out of selling those leases. Trump knows all this stuff. Tillerson knows all this stuff. So the public has a right to know, though. It can't just be something in the back room that Trump does and deals with. It has to be brought to light with the sunshine. And sunshine is the best disinfectant, as Hillary says. So, like I said, this is just another slide to show what a small group it really is, and we know who they all are. It's not like we have to go, find them, and out of 50 suspects. We know who the bag man is. We know who's giving arms to Boko Haram. We know Mark Rich was dealing with Gaddafi's oil, so it's Gaddafi's money that's moving. We know that it's Justra doing all the metals plays. He's doing the Greek oil play. Joe Wilson's doing the Sub-Saharan Africa, Somalia, Eritrea, etc. We know who all the players are. So this isn't like a tough case. This is an easy case because the players, it's a small group and they keep repeating the same crime over and over again with the same MO. So that's my point today, is it's not a vast left-wing conspiracy. It's a very small conspiracy of themselves. It's not left or right wing, it's of themselves, especially her. Thanks.